X-Men Blue #1, written by Cullen Bunn, art by Jorge Molina and Matteo Bafagni, with colors by Matt Milla. Over 5 years ago, the original X-Men, Iceman, Beast, Cyclops, Marvel Girl, and Angel, were brought to the present from the 60s. Ever since then, Marvel has had no real idea on what to do with them as a group. I mean, the hopeless run of all new X-Men book after the Secret Wars wasn't bad, and they did some good things with young Psych confronting X-Face through his solo series as well as during the big brouhaha. But can this latest incarnation of, hey, we have to get them all together again, be any good? God, I hope so. So the book starts with the 4 X-Men in the Blackbird, with Angel flying in front, and we get a decent setup for the characterization of all the characters. However, Bunn, it's not about damn time that Jean became leader of the X-Men. She's been leader of the X-Men before, and had mistress and everything like that. As for young Jean herself, everything that's been set up in the last 5 years has shown that she was never meant for a leadership role. She's been kind of a bad character. Anyways, they all hop onto a yacht for their target. While they're stalking around it, we also get Psych talking about how he misses barbershops. Yeah. But they do put their game faces on and they bust into the main vault. Wow, is that Black Tom Cassidy? Okay, I'll give you props there, I haven't seen him in forever. The X-Men kick his butt while bantering before they seemingly defeat him. But suddenly, Juggernaut, oh yes, through the wall. He really looks like he wants to be Bane now, with tubes coming out of his helmet and all that jazz. I don't know. But Angel flies in from behind and neutralizes Black Tom. Yet Juggernaut is having none of this. He questions why they look like their young selves again from way back in X-Men #12, but they didn't even look this young way back then either, so... Either way, he's really pissed off at Cyclops specifically, since he killed Xavier, even though Xavier being his brother never stopped him from trying to crush puny bald guy before. Either way, there's actually some great teamwork shown to make the Juggernaut fight feel pretty epic, until Beast uses a spell to send Juggernaut to Siberia with a slight detour through hell, which leads to an argument for methods between Cyclops and Beast. But the hostages are happy, and them trying to restore people's faith in the X-Men went pretty well. They fly back to Madripoor, apparently their new base of operations, and report to Magneto, who's now trying to make Xavier's dream a reality. Because, wow, that's such a shocking reveal, he's never done that before. Shut up, New Mutants, no one but longtime readers care about you. Oh, and there's a meanwhile of Wolverine's son, because heaven knows that marketing wouldn't let that stay a mystery for more than a day, being hunted by the cops and then fighting Wendigo. Okay. Usually I don't go into such depth with the plot, but frankly, I don't know how I feel about this book, and I wanted to speak it out loud to see why I was so unsure. On one hand, it isn't bad. I may have been overly snarky with it, but it really isn't a bad read. The X-Men have their teamwork down pretty well, while still arguing because they have been very independent characters since they came back, and there is some decent humor in it. Like when Cyclops goes hipster, as everyone says, even though he is from the 1960s. But on the other hand, there are callbacks to things that really look to be going, hey guys, remember this? But if you do remember it, then it's kind of inconsistent. Like I brought up, this team has been around for over 5 years of history, with a couple of books with the team together, so it's neat to see them not gelling so well, but it's also a bit off that they'd be all, ha ha ha, Cyclops is so old because he misses barbershops. But bigger inconsistencies really do hinder it with me, like the fact that last time in universe, Black Tom and Juggernaut saw each other, they were very much not on the same side, with Black Tom accidentally killing a kid and Juggernaut being like, yo, I'm done with that. But then again, that's Excalibur, so how dare we even think that'd be canon now? And that's my problem. This book feels like it's meant to be some sort of book for longtime readers, with all the callbacks, but they all feel hollow. Juggernaut faced the X-Men in #12, but there's been over 50 years of history in between that. And he as a character, and even just the story as a whole, has evolved since then. Even Cullen Bunn in the letter pages goes, hey, name your favorite mutant and they'll probably show up. As though Chamber randomly appearing to go sup would be enough for people whose favorite character happens to be Chamber, or Husk, or characters you know won't come back. It's the problem trying to make callbacks that show a continuity that's not in play anymore. It's that tease of, hey, remember we had that really awesome General Tso's pizza from Best Food over on the boulevard? Well, here's a week-old Little Caesars hot and ready pizza. Sure, it can be satisfying on a it's not technically bad level, but it's not where it could be. And I know by now a lot of people think that I dislike Cullen Bunn as a writer, but that's not true. I just don't think that Marvel editorial right now knows where they're actually going with any of their books, which allows for far too loose of a canon for long-term readership, or even people who are only relatively understanding of what the canon is. From book to book it can't stay the same, so of course, after all that, I can say the problem could honestly be me. The writing isn't bad, the art is pretty good, and I could easily just be being an X-Fanboy, and having been reading this series for well over 20 years, well, okay, maybe a little bit under 20 years, I may have learned to read off 80s X-Men comics, but I wasn't really getting 90s comics in the early to mid 90s. Either way, I think this is definitely going to be a split decision, and my verdict is, read it. Read it means that you should at least check it out if you're interested to see if it works for you. It didn't work for me, but I will be checking out a couple issues later to see if it just gels into where I'd like. And when you do check it out, leave a comment below letting me know if I'm wrong and this is totally the best new X-Men comic, or if you agree with me that it's not so bad, or maybe you want to vent even more about how it basically made the development from the all-new X-Men books by Dennis Hopeless last year or 2 years ago, and really failed at trying to be a better version of that. Comments are always helpful. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Check out my 2 other channels, ComicSins and A Comic a Day, for even more comic book reviews, discussions, and fun. Please become a patron to support the channels, and with your help, soon we'll be able to actually afford a real editor so I can get more videos out and have real editing throughout them. And as always, stay golden, Inklings.